All right, folks, good afternoon. And it is certainly a pleasant, wonderful afternoon. It is the middle of the week, and it is Wellness Wednesday here on the Marketplace Reset Show. I'm Anthony Weeks, executive producer of the Colorado Network and host, along with my co-host colleagues, Linda and Carolyn. They're both in queue, and I'll bring them up shortly. But I hope you're having a wonderful, spectacular, awesome, all of the adjectives in terms of week so far. I hope you're safe, taking care of yourself, and your week is going well and it's productive so far. All right, so let me bring in Carolyn and Linda. Ladies, good afternoon. How are you today?
We are wonderful.
Hello.
What's going on? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Happy Wellness Wednesday to you as well.
Happy Wellness Wednesday. Good morning, good afternoon. Wherever you may be in the world.
Is it still snowing where you are?
So it's funny you should mention that. We had that monster snowstorm on Sunday that actually came in Saturday night and covered everything on Sunday. Then the sun came out at 1 p.m. on Sunday. And by Sunday afternoon, we were bright and sunny and feeling good. And by Monday, it was 50 some degrees, which is super warm for us. What? And that's all gone. But wait, there's more. We've got another storm starting in just a few hours, about 7 p.m. tonight. We've got 3 more days of snow coming.
Wait, okay.
So wait a minute. You had a nor'easter, then you went to 53 degrees, and now you're having a what storm?
We're having another snowstorm tonight, and then and then going into tomorrow, then it's going to stop, and then we're going to have more snow on Thursday afternoon, and then potentially more snow on Friday. So,
what did you guys do to deserve that?
Variety side of the Mississippi, the Mason-Dixon line. That we're still the South, but we're northern South. I don't know. What do we do to get down to the sunny Virgin Islands and St. Croix and broadcast there? What do we do?
Exactly.
I thought the virtual thing would have sufficed for now, but obviously we need to expedite that. We need to put that on a fast track to get you guys down here, because obviously it's not cutting.
Please. And if we can bring all of our listeners and all of our visitors, viewers from the DMV with us, then we'll be even more happier. So there it is.
Speaking of Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, man, you guys are making headlines all over the place. I mean, you got just the whole whirlwind of stuff taking place in Washington, between the second impeachment of a former president, and now this mega $1.9 trillion stimulus rescue package.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, geez. I mean, is there anything else that you guys need to tell us about, or what?
Well, we're trying to be COVID safe, and I will say that. Sorry, Linda, for that. But when you think about it, Anthony, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, because they don't realize how close we are. When I say that our news is the nation's news, my daughter who lives in the Midwest, a lot of what happens, they're just focused on what's happening in good old Mishawaka, Indiana. when we're talking about, when I turn on my news, my major channels are all talking what's happening 8 miles away in Washington, D.C. So we really are at the pulse of things. So.
Yes.
Wow.
And so because of that, we also know that we just represent a lot of the diversity of our country in that regard. And so, when no news is good news, and good news has to be better than the bad news, and the bad news has to be transparent and brought out and dealt with, then, somewhere, somehow. But can we just give ourselves a hand for, Black History Month here, as well as American history, which is American history? We spotlight it in a particular month, but it's all year long, as with all other groups. And so we know that we're hearing the numbers that African Americans or community of colors are feeling very, very challenged by the vaccination. We talked about that on the last show, and we hope the confidence level increases and rises, that everyone who isn't eligible and everyone who really does their research and makes a personal health decision with your health provider, your doctor, and your family will move to the right decision. and not operate in fear. That's what we want. We want you to be educated consumers versus fearful consumers, whatever that may be
Love
in your
it.
final
Love it.
decision.
Love
That's
it.
really
Absolutely
good.
love it.
Mhm.
And I'm excited because a cameo appearance by a guest that, when you talk about, when we say, happy Wellness Wednesday, I mean, we mean that literally. I mean, so much so that by popular demand, we have someone that was just phenomenal in the last appearance on the show.
Yes.
And, coming straight from the halls of the corridor of Washington, D.C., the hall of Congress, and all of the wonderful things that the DMV represent. You have a dynamic wellologist that's going to be with us, and let's bring her in. And now she's no
Drum roll.
stranger.
Good morning.
I know. Boom. Candace
Yay.
Camille, wellologist and global traveler, bringing wellness to the masses, if you will. Great to see you, Candace.
Thank you for having me here. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. I'm excited to be back here. Always excited when we're talking about just being well, because at the end of the day, it's our fingers that's on any pulse. And you want to make sure that there's a well finger there in order for you to make the right decisions based on your life, just your life and nobody else's. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, you are a special person because we can tell you, Anthony, Carolyn, and I can tell you, you are our, I believe, second guest to return to our show. No, third. You're the third guest. You make number 3. So back by popular demand, we wanted to get so much in, and now we have an hour conversation that we can share with you, a little less than an hour, but there's so much we need to learn and so much information that we need to convey. And we're just grateful that you're spending some quality time with us to do so.
Exactly.
Candace, welcome back. Welcome back, Candace.
Thank you, Anthony.
And
All right, I'm gonna let you ladies do your thing. I'm gonna go back studio so I can manage and produce the show. Ladies, I will be listening quite acutely, right attentively, I should say, to the conversation, and maybe I might just jump right in. Maybe, just maybe.
Please
Can't
do.
promise you that. All right, have a great show.
And so,
right.
Candace, with us having you back, the importance of wellness cannot be overstated. And I remember the last time you were here, you made a very interesting point, because we had you here and you said, I am the solution to your New Year's resolution. So we know people resolve a lot of things at the end of a year and the beginning of a new one. So where can people take that? What do you mean by that statement? And how does that factor into what people have resolved to do?
You know what, Carolyn, thanks for asking the question. Great questions, because New Year's resolutions has been around forever, based on where they're come from. And it's just a point of like you said, reset, restart, restore, rejuvenate. It's all about redoing, right? So give us a moment to say that we are going to start something and do something. Like 68%, statistics states 68% of us say we're going to lose weight, we're going to get better in our health, and that's the biggie. Then our finances is next, and then getting better with our family. So there's a list, but on the top of the list, it is our health that we're supposed to be getting better with. But only about 8% of us, 8%. 8%. Did I say 8% of us?
I'm writing.
You said 8%.
I'm writing this down. 8%.
Exactly. We take notes, as you know.
I got my book today. Listen, 8% of us really cross the line. Only 8% of us get past the point of no return. So that leaves us with 92% of us that still is either worse off or in the same place that we were the year before. And I say that I'm the solution to your New Year's resolution simply because there really is no solutions. You should not be even making a resolution on January the 1st. You should just make a decision, period, to simply say that I'm going to be well and I'm going to do something to change my life. Because as you said in the beginning, nothing changes until you change. So if you don't make the decision to change, nothing is going to happen. And last and certainly not least, is say why I say I am the solution to it, simply because I am a wellness coach and I know how to do this. And a lot of times we simply just don't know how to do it. And we need somebody to help lead us and guide us in a sense of how do you get this done? And more so than anything, like most of my clients know that me, I'm a straight up no chaser. You know, I don't want to hear all the crap, just get it done. And I'm going to help you get it done and hold you accountable for what you say you were going to do. So Lynn, if you said, I want to lose 10 pounds for my New Year's resolution and you call me, I got no cut cards for you. I'm going to go back to why. You said you want to lose 10 pounds, chick? Let's get it done. Don't make excuses. Let's make adjustments based on what it is you want to do. And that's what you have to know. What do you want to do? How do you want to feel? And then what you're going to do to make it happen.
All right. Now, wait a minute. So you have some things you have said have been really profound. First of all, it is discouraging, but could be inspiring that only 8% actually do what they have, quote unquote, resolved to do. So you said, don't make a resolution, make a decision. And then I guess you have to reaffirm that decision every day. So nothing changes until you do. Wow. So when we're thinking in terms of being well, and you mentioned that weight is typically at the top of individuals' list of what they want to do. So, you know, we get that. So what are some strategies around that? What's the first thing you would recommend that I look at or do if losing weight is something that I want to do?
Well, first of all, weight loss is the bonus to being well.
Oh,
Okay. So don't have that as your end goal. Have
See,
wellness as your front goal.
wellness should be at the top of your list. Because if you walk in the wellness path and you start your transformation just to be well, just by deduction and default, you are going to lose the weight because your body is going to go where it's supposed to be. So if you walk in a path to say, you know what are some of the things I have to do to be well? Think about it. I want to lose weight, right? I want to be well. So what do I have to do? I have to eat less and move more. That's number one, right?
okay, hold on. Let me get that down. Eat less, move more. I mean, you're saying this as so matter of factly, it's rolling off your tongue, but these are powerful points because during COVID, I have eaten more and I have moved less.
Less.
I am sliding from chair to chair in my house. That's my life.
That's you.
Carolyn, that would be my life too. So we are going to.
We can take that percentage way up now and say that's pretty much everybody's life based on, and what we're just about a year in. A year in. But here's the deal. If you did not cultivate this practice before COVID, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to start these practices by yourself right now. You know, we all have the chance to get up every morning and say, we're going to begin again. Every day we have that opportunity to begin again. But when you get up, if it's something that you have not created, if you don't know these habits, Carolyn, you know these habits. If you don't know these habits, we'll talk about that in a minute. But you don't know these habits, you don't know what to do with them. So if you haven't created the habit of eating less or eating better and moving more, you don't even know what that looks like. And most people don't know what it looks like.
And so would all of this be under the category of neuroscience? I'm hearing a lot of things about neuroscience of weight loss and neuroscience of health, that we get to meaning the mindset, really working with this mind and what that means, because so that we flip the script. We think we have to do, but really we have to think, is what I'm hearing you say.
Listen, James
Allen nothing changes until you do.
Changes. But you know what? All of this stuff sounds good. I mean, they've been talking about it since the 1800s. So James Allen said the mind is the master power and we are mind. And evermore, our mind takes the tools of thought, the shape in what we will. It's our mind that brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. We think secret and it comes to pass. your mind really is a looking glass. So your inner picture, Lynn, definitely will determine your outer world. What you think about, you really do bring about. You really do. And then you got to take actions on it, on your thoughts, because that's how you're going to get your results.
So walk us through your, we're clients. Take us through that experience, because I think people are need to understand and kind of connect the dots, and in that have that aha moment. We need to get a hold of Candace. I just last night asked for your telephone number, or the day before.
With
I just
urgency.
did.
No, it was all of a sudden she's like, need contact. Wait a minute. I can look on my phone. Need contact information immediately. Must implement. And I was like, I literally got a 911 call directed at the wellologist from
Oh, I love
my
that.
person.
Oh,
It's
that's so
and not in preparation for today, because it's so interesting that you talked about the mind is the master power. You, Candace, the words that you said beforehand, and maybe it connected into something that I knew about. We were going to have you on the show today, but really hadn't connected that dot. In all honesty, that right then and there, before I forgot, I had to put the thought with the intention with the resource and get it all pulled together. And is that what that's what I'm hearing you say? How do we do that? How do you take us through that, walk us through that experience?
Well, just the fact of the matter, Lynn, is you ask for the number. First of all, timing is everything, because people are going to do in their time what needs to be done. Whatever your emergency was, generally we have an emergency or we have a trauma or something that's going to catapult us into making the call. I got pain. I got diagnosed with something. I'm just tired of being tired. I'm tired of feeling the way that it is. So whatever your pain point is going to say, now is the time. I need some help right now. I need to implement this right now. And what you're thinking is that I done tried this. I done started, because being well is about staying, not about just starting. You have to stick and stay in it. And 9 times out of 10, you need somebody to help you stay. Because that's what it is.
That's a good point. And I will say this has been a challenge throughout my life, just in general. There are things that I see the merit of immediately. And I know this could work. And it does, because I can enter with all the excitement, of a ton of cheerleaders. And then the excitement, it only takes one thing to bump me off. It's almost, and then I need that front end alignment again. So that's where someone like you is valuable. Like you're saying, something as simple as eat less, move more. And I can say that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And by Saturday, if there is something that didn't go well during the week, I'm getting ready to eat more. And because I ate more,
But that's okay.
I'm going to move less.
But see, the thing about it is that's okay. There is a strategy just to what you said, Carolyn. It's literally called the 80-20 rule.
Oh,
it's literally called the 80-20 rule.
80-20.
If you eat right, 5 times a week, that's 80%. And you got 20% to treat yourself. So I say treat yourself because a lot of the times when we go on this wellness path, we're thinking that, oh my God, I can't have chocolate again. Are you kidding? Oh my God, I can't have wine again. Are you kidding? I eat chocolate, I drink wine. I do it on my treat days. So you do get to treat yourself, but of course there's a caveat to it. The caveat is on those days that you eat more, you really gotta move. That's the only caveat to what the 20% really is. Like on that 20% treat day, listen, I'm having my wine, I'm having my brie cheese, I got my olives, I got my kimchi, I'm good to go. I got my
Your
little
kimchi.
Pinot Noir. Absolutely, my little Pinot Noir. You know what? I'm good. But before I indulge in that treat, I make sure that I have done something to move my body on that day. That's the only caveat to it. Because if you don't, you get yourself out of the realm of, oh my God, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. I messed up. So I don't want to jump back in. So you never jump out. You're always in.
So one of the things that working in women's health, and we actually focused on women and children who were obese, and really trying to express healthy living and healthy lifestyle. And one of the things that we looked at was the food pyramid, and kind of having this interesting thing on nutrition.gov, or one of the websites that I'm sure are great resources for everyone, how to create the healthy food plate. Do you have some thoughts around that? Because I think we've all gotten into, and with the snacks, I don't know where that goes on the plate,
It
but
don't
maybe
go
that's
on
another
the
little
plate, by
baby
the
plate
way.
to the side every once in a while. I don't know.
Snacks have a place though, but it don't go on your plate. So let's just talk about the plates. Number one, especially here in America, our plates are 10 inches large, right? First
Yes.
of all, the plate is too big, right? The plate is too big. So you want to use your salad plate literally as the plate, the salad plate that we deem a salad plate right now, almost as your plate, or even if you're eating on that 10-inch plate, there should be about 2 inches, in between the
Wow.
food and the rim and the trim of the plate.
Well,
That's number one. But just by when you think about what you should be eating in that pyramid, you're talking about proteins. And every meal, that's 3 meals a day, you should have protein. You should have carbohydrates. You should have fat. A lot of times when we go on these weight loss things, we think we're supposed to cut that stuff out. But when you cut that stuff out, you're slowing down your metabolism. That's going to hurt you in the long run, and you're just going to gain the weight back or more. So you want to make sure that you had all the macronutrients in your diet, which is carbohydrates, or in your meal plan, I dare say, which is carbohydrates, fats. Yes, we need to eat fat, and we have to have protein. I used to be 223 pounds. I ate my way down to 125.
I
See, we
love
think
it.
we gotta stop eating, but you have to eat your way to where you want to be. See, because food changes everything.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Candace,
Can you see me raising my hand? Hold on.
no,
I'm raising my hand because I need to hear you say you went from what now to what now, and you ate yourself down.
I was 223 pounds. I was about a size 18, 20, and I ate my way to 125.
and let me just say this, Linda. You, after having met Candace over the years in person, I have touched her arms. I have seen her. We have embraced. She is high and tight. So if I can express, this isn't 125 pounds of softness. This woman is she's a bike rider and an exercise enthusiast. So I love the fact you ate your way down. See, I think of eating my way into the TV show My 600-Pound Life, but you ate your way down.
Yes.
So that's a very good point. So what you're really emphasizing is that what's key here, because you can only do but so many things and put so many things in your mind, is get your nutrition straight. Yeah, that's the wellness that you're referring to, correct?
Oh, absolutely. That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
So I've got protein. You told me to get carbs, and you want me to have fat, and I can have a little of that 3 times a day.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, what about juicing? I mean, juicer sales go through the roof every December when people are giving out gifts, and everybody, oh, I'm juicing now, and I watch my friends juice, and then stop juicing, and juice and stop juicing. So how does that work?
You know what? Again, that's a fad. No matter how you look at it, it's a fad, something to do. We all need these ideas of some things we need to do to be well. But when you think about it, we already have what we need to do. We need to eat less, move more. Juicing is another thing to do, to add on to make yourself feel better. That goes right back down into your mentality of it. Because juicing, I mean, think about it. You're taking out vital nutrients from the juice. You're taking out fiber, which is the stuff that you need in the juice, and you're trying to drink a meal. Let me tell you something. You cannot drink your way to weight loss, because you're taking out everything. You're reducing your caloric intake, but you're reducing it so low that the body can't function. So when you go back to regular meal planning and eating, the body is going to smack you hard. And most of the juices, especially the ones that you buy, that's laden with a lot of fruits and stuff, it's just pure sugar. So if you have diabetic issues or things like that, you're going in the wrong direction.
Wow. Well, I have friends that they will go to a market, those large bulk markets, and get 25 pounds of carrots to make 3 glasses of juice. And they're taking that back. And then all that carrot, they threw that outside. And
They
I'm
threw the
thinking,
good stuff away.
that's like, so should I eat the carrot?
Yes, you should eat everything. Chew on it. I mean, think about it. You're
That's
talking about
good.
kale and carrot. Listen, I need to eat. Don't give me no juice. I want to know where the food is. I want to crunch something. I need to put something in my mouth. Drink. Are you kidding me? Where is the food? This is not food.
Okay. So that's helpful to know, because what that does is it sets you off in a whole different path around health and wellness. If I'm just trying to drink everything, why was I even created with teeth if I'm just going to stuck everything through a straw? So that makes
For those who, we know that there are many people who may have some health challenges where, getting their nutrition through more soups and liquid format, that there's a way to add those nutrients in and make sure they actually get that nutrient as well. So what we're saying is, if you are, on your road to health and that's not your issue, don't believe that you can only juice your way down to eat, instead of eat your way, you're drinking your way down. That it has ramifications for when you're ready to restore and go into quote unquote maintenance, where you're going to start eating, is what you're saying. Because, okay, so
you got
I have a
Anthony.
question
Anthony, is it
about
our commercial yet?
setting goals. I
Okay,
know that sounds
before-
so basic. And if we could set our goals, here's Anthony.
That's
think
what
he's
I
gonna tell us something.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. So how do we realistically set the goals that you would be working with your team, your patients and your clients on, like a Linda Dorman and a Carolyn Howe and an Anthony Weeks? Well, Anthony looks like he's in good shape, so he's down there in that wonderful sunny. He's getting plenty of exercise and fresh food.
So Anthony, let me ask you, is it time for our bottom of the hour break, and then we can answer that question on the other side of that?
Yes.
No, tell you what. Let Candace answer that question, and then after that we'll go to the break.
Great.
Okay.
So Linda, when you're talking about setting your goals, here's the goals that we most likely will work on. So there's 4 things, which is a formula that you need to do in order to be well. Number 1 is we're going to talk about eating well, right?
Mhm.
What are you eating? Number 2, we're going to talk about sleeping well. How's your sleep pattern, right? Number 3, we're going to talk about water, hydrating well. How is your water intake? Right?
Mhm.
And then last and certainly not least, we want to talk about moving well. I want to know, how often are you moving? So those are the 4 things, because that is the formula to live well. You got to eat well, you got to sleep well, you got to hydrate well, and you have to move well. So we create a plan based on those 4 entities. I call them my reservoirs. Those 4 reservoirs, and we have to decide, what do we have to do to make sure that they're filled at all times, so you can operate at an efficient and an effective level, optimum level, because that's how you're going to get there.
Awesome.
Yeah, Candace, going into the break, I'll give food for thought. I have a question I want you to think about. But before I ask the question, and I always say this because for me as the consumer, you listen to the experts, and you have so many, varying opinions as to what is the right methodology, what you should be doing, the do's and the don'ts. And there's so many conflicting advice you get from folks on different sides of the table. You said, listen, don't give me no juice. I'm not going to juice my way to, weight loss. There's nothing wrong with juicing. When I juice, I want to drink, but when it's time for me to eat, I want food. And so therefore you get this, sometimes you get this message, people thinking, okay, all you got to do is juice your way to weight loss, right? You're saying, no, that doesn't work. And so why is it that we get so many different conflicting advice on how to lose weight, because for the consumer it is confusing. You get so many different people coming at you, the noise, how do you filter the noise? And then of course the other question is, why is it that it appears apparently evidently men seem to struggle less with weight loss than women? Is that a myth? When we come back from the other break, if you can shed some light on that, that'd be great. I'm asking for a friend, not me.
For a friend. So let me just say this, Anthony. I know she mentioned 4 pillars in her formula for success. Yeah. This entire show is devoted to eating well. So when we have her back in the following months, we'll be talking about sleeping well, hydrating well, and moving well. So that's a great question. So this is all about eating well. So when we come back, she's going to be ready.
Fantastic. All right, folks, this is the Marketplace Reset Show on Jumpstart TV. I'm Anthony Weeks and my colleague, Carolyn Linder, with our special guest, Candace, the wellologist. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The reopening measures are slowly taking place amid the coronavirus pandemic. Malls and restaurants are working again, and factories move more and more of their personnel back into the offices. However, that doesn't mean that people won't get sick anymore. On the contrary, there are now many more chances of spreading the virus even farther. To protect the employees and clients of your business, we developed Thermo Control screening stations. It is a quick and safe solution. Thermo Control measures temperature at a distance of 25 centimeters. The device is autonomous. It does not require an additional employee to conduct temperature measurements or log the results. It can measure and even recognize masked faces. All of the results are logged automatically and stored in the database. You can use the station to ensure your clients and employees access to your building automatically.
John Smith, Frauenbach.
The station can issue entrance passes and grant access to the building after it measured the person's temperature. If the visitor's temperature is high, a notification will be sent and a potential carrier of the virus can't access the building. Thermo Control can send SMS and messenger notifications, as well as notifications over email. Temperature measurement technologies allow businesses to ensure the safety of people and potentially save lives all over the world.
Welcome back to the Marketplace Reset. We are live here on Jumpstart TV. Please go to www.jumpstarteconomy.us. I paused because there are a couple ways you can get there, but again, that's www.jumpstarteconomy.us. You will learn everything there is to know in terms of we are the new heartbeat of the new economy. We got our fingers on the pulse. You'll see the pulse going because every week we take a deep dive on the issues and the topics that affect you, and we want to make sure that you're well informed with your ability to make the right decision going forward for yourself and you and your family. I'm Anthony Weeks. This is the Marketplace live on WSTX 970 AM, live on the Callaloo Network, live on Jumpstart TV, live on La Mega Mundial, our Hispanic affiliated station, live across all social media platforms. But most important, we are live on Tempo Network TV, and we have a special guest. She is making her cameo appearance again. She's back for a second time in the program. We have Candace Camille. She is the CEO of Candace Enterprise. She's a wellologist, and let's bring her back in. Candace, Carolyn, Linda, great conversation. I don't know if the question I asked was a loaded question, Candace, but I don't mean to put you in the spot, but is it me or is it and the reason I'm asking that is because it's Valentine's Day coming up, right? And men and female and male and female are courting each other and they go out for dinner. You don't want to have this complex, you want to go out and enjoy a good meal, but you're like, I'm trying to impress this person, but let me not eat. Let me eat the right way. So, can you kind of help us with that, please?
You know what? At the end of the day, Gordon, it's such a personal decision. You know, even when you're talking about being well, especially from the male perspective, the female perspective, it's such a personal decision. Because if you build a plan, Valentine's Day is one of those special days. Make that one of your days. You just go out and don't think about it. I think we overthink it when it comes to stuff like that. But for male, female, one of the questions that you ask is, why do men seem to lose the weight faster? It's called testosterone. Pisses me off though. You just don't have it. It's called testosterone. It's a male dominant hormone that you have. Why? Because you are a male. We don't have that much testosterone, so we're fighting estrogen. So you guys got the hormone. So once you start, you have it, we have it, you have more of it. But once we all, both of us, you know, when my husband was alive and we did it and we start this thing, I'm like, how the heck he lose 10 pounds and I lost 2? So I did some research. I was pissed. Like, what? We doing the same thing. So I wanted to see what was going on with that. But it boils down, it's our makeup. And it's called testosterone. And that hormone builds muscles. That's how we get the muscle mass. So when you rev up and you start eating right and you rev up and you good to go, that increases your testosterone. So every day I'm lifting weights because you know why, Anthony? I want to increase my testosterone. I need to increase my testosterone level so I can stay where I am. Weight-bearing exercises is one of the things that is how you increase your testosterone, ladies. What is your testosterone?
I have another.
And
I have
that
another.
is such
I have
a
another
very
controversial.
important part. Go ahead.
I have another controversial question. Okay. And I figured, you know, while I'm at it, let's keep up. One of the things I wonder, I'm asking for a friend, not, you know.
Okay, asking for a friend.
That I notice when women struggle with weight loss, I notice sometimes they have the tendency of not being honest with themselves and they start to blame it on the medication they're taking. And you know, and I notice that's like a common thing. You know, why I see you trying to do different things and you're not losing weight, you're still gaining weight. And most of the time, all you keep hearing from them, well, yeah, I'm like this because of the medication I'm taking, or I can't lose weight because of the medication. You just debunked one myth in terms of the fact that there is science between why male lose weight a lot faster than women. What's the deal with women and not really? Are they really being honest when they say, you know, they're really overweight and they're blaming medication, but they're not really losing weight because of that? I mean, what's the deal with that?
You know,
I do have an issue. I do have an issue with answering that question for an obviously thin man. But anyway, go ahead, Candace. I'm sorry.
You know what? It doesn't even matter because you know what, Anthony? I don't like to call anybody a liar. I just don't use the word, right? But I will say that you're confabulating. And basically, a confabulation is those little truths and lies we tell ourselves so much that it becomes our truth. It's just an excuse. At the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, I have no cut cards for that. It's we got to stop making excuses and make adjustments. See, we always looking for a way out. See, instead of trying to get out, you have to leap in. So we're always looking for a way to get out of it as things not working for us. Or instead of making an adjustment and say, you know what? I did A, B, C, and D last week. Ain't nothing happened. This is not working. So I need to make an adjustment to change something. And that's why it's so important to be with somebody that can help you get there. Because most of the time as women, we are afraid of the scale. I don't want to get on the scale. You don't want to get on the scale because you don't want to know the truth. But if you don't get on the scale, you have no way of tracking if what you're doing is working for you. So if you want to get on the scale once a year, how do you know back in February that this thing actually works? So you want to use the excuse as medication or your family responsibilities. You can go on and on and on with all the things that we use because we didn't get to our goal. And you, Anthony, called me on it. How dare you call me on that?
No, that's a good point. I love it. Those are
And
really
I
good
have a
points.
question that kind of tag teams to our, fit and handsome Anthony here. The question that I have is, as we get older, particularly women of a certain age who are entering into a certain age category, the paradigm of their health shifts because of hormones. You mentioned something very important about testosterone, because it's during those times that we begin to lose what testosterone we do have. It begins to be depleted. And for another show we'll talk about what does that mean to other areas of our lives, like our sexual health, because testosterone attaches to those markers. But the reality is this: we start to gain weight as we get older because of the hormonal shifts that are different from men. And are you saying that weight bearing exercises helps to increase and regenerate this testosterone? Because that's
Well,
that's wonderful.
scientifically, I'm gonna have to put a pause in it and make sure I'm giving you the correct answer to this. But because of someone that's in her 60s, right? I can debunk that myth just based on I've gone through menopause, I've gone through perimenopausal, I've had the hormone shift. So I can come to you from an experience level that a lot of
Mm.
us, lay down on that because, things get a little too challenging. I don't like to use the word hard. It get a little too challenging for us. So you know what? I'm gonna blame it on my hormones is why I got a muffin top. I'm gonna blame it on my hormones is why I got back fat or the thunder thighs or whatever else we use
Oh no.
to describe our body parts, right? But at the end of the day, as long as you go right back to food and eating well, as long as you're eating well, you will have a better chance to come out of that still stronger. So when you're talking about the foods that you eat, because it's the food, Lynn, that's going to determine how you move. It's the food that's going to determine how you think. It's the food that's going to determine how you even react. It's all about your intake. So once we really, really understand what we need to put on our body based on where we are, everybody is individual. I can honestly say, listen, your 1 + 1 don't equal my 2. You have a unique formula just for you, but you have to get somebody to help you devise that formula so you can follow it for the rest of your life, not a lifestyle, for the rest of your life, because your life is different from me. So you have to develop your wellness recovery action plan based on where you want to go.
Well, I like that
Oh, I like
wellness
that concept.
recovery action plan. Wait a minute. I want to get that down.
Yeah.
Wellness recovery action plan. I like the
That's
action plan.
not mine. That's actually in the mental health state. But it's the same thing when you talk about getting recovery based on what it is that you want to do. You have to develop the plan. You have to recover from where you are. And there's
Mm-hmm.
some things when you're talking about eating, how do you recover? So the way to understand how do we get to a better homeostasis place in our body. That's the alkaline place where we want to be. But
Yes.
at the end of the day, if your blood sugar is out of order, if you're not pooping, you out of order. If you're not sleeping, you out of order. So if those things are not correct based on from the start, it doesn't matter what it is that you do is going to change you. See, you have to get sort of in an alignment and get ready and prepare yourself for your transformation or your change. That's why it's important to get with your doctor to make sure that you are okay. What's my numbers? That's why you got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know where you're starting from. You don't even know where you're going. So if you don't know that your blood sugar is out of control, if you say to me, Candace, I've been pooping every third day for a year. Listen, that's not normal. You sleeping 4 hours a day. That's not normal. That's not going to get your body to where you want it to be. So we have to almost do the prerequisites to get ourselves ready in order to eat well, to move to where we want to go.
Candace, can we just do a universal applause for that? I've got to just go there. Because it's critical to look at it in phases. And you said to get the first part is your preparation to be in a position to successfully transform and then activate that transformation strategy. So I'm wondering if there's some high level tips for the pre part. One of them that comes to mind is making sure that you have your food allergy markers, because as I love oranges, but I actually have a food sensitivity, not a full blown allergy, but a food sensitivity to oranges. So I really shouldn't be eating too many oranges or at all. The same for eggs. I didn't know that. And I've just been
But you know,
ignorant.
like you said, once you know, you know. If you don't know, it's the same thing. You can't act on something that you don't know. So you don't know that you're allergic to oranges, but you do know because you feel differently inside of your body. One of the things, I'm a certified emotional mastery coach. Change and transformation is about how you feel. Like you ate those oranges and you know you didn't feel good. Why the heck would you eat them again? So again, you're not paying attention to what? You're not being aware of your own self. You're just saying, I like him. The heck with it. I'm going to do it anyway. So that's you making that decision, a bad decision, but it's you making that decision based on, oh, I'm only going to feel like this for a minute. But when you do that, you don't know what's affecting you in the long run. As we work right now to be well, even when we're talking about our food and preparing, the question you have to ask yourself, what are you preparing for? Like if you're 60 years old, if you're 50 years old, you need to be preparing for 60, or you need to be preparing for 70. So right now, based on what it is that you're eating and your intake, is that going to get you to that well space as we get older? That's why you have to stop going at the goal of losing weight. Those are little, goals that you can do it just pretty much to psych yourself out, because in my groups that I have, we're doing the Biggest Loser Challenge, right? So I have 30 women that's doing this. Of course, there's a prize at the end of it, but at the end of the day, my whole thing is just to get them to track. See, because you have to be in the group and you have to do what's necessary in order to stay, or I'll throw you out. So that means you got to weigh yourself every week. You got to give me your BMI. You got to give me your waist size. I got to know what you're eating. So this way next week, if you did not lose the pound or the 2 pounds that's healthy, we go to work changing on what you're doing. See, this way you got to own your truth. See, that's all challenges and diets and all of that stuff, and especially communities is being around. That's why you have me. You have me to say, you know what, chick, that ain't true. I ain't trying to hear it. What did you really eat? Because
Wow.
what did you really eat? Because you can't even do 10 jumping jacks without being short of breath. What did you really eat? Because what happens is the truth comes out based on your actions.
Wow, Candace, what you just said is a mouthful, because about the truth about what did you eat. A perfect example, I can mention my mom because she's no longer around, and she would appreciate me sharing to help someone else. My mother was famous. She was an incredibly efficient woman as it came to keeping, running a household. But she would grab food. She didn't realize that she stress ate. That wasn't a term that hit her mind. But if something was going bad, she would start shoveling in handfuls of something, and she would be chewing while talking with you. And then later on in the day, you would talk to her and she would say, I haven't eaten a thing all day. And I'm like, Mom, we had 5 conversations. And I heard you smacking, slacking, and carrying on every conversation. What it was is what that didn't count to her as food. It didn't. If you asked her what I ate, I'm like, you had an Edmund's donut, the chocolate one. You ate at least one of those. I saw you have this. You had a soda. You had a that. You had a. But it wasn't a meal for her. So she would only, and she wasn't deliberately lying to herself. She just wasn't aware.
Yeah.
because it didn't count as a meal for her.
But you know, that is so good because that's emotional. And a lot of, especially as women, and especially in this time, and we're talking about emotional eating. Thanks for bringing it up, Carol, because that's a way, because it's not so much what you're eating, but it's what's eating you. Because a lot of the times,
okay, let me write that down. Hold on.
you know,
It's what's eating you.
it's
Okay.
what's eating you. It's not how much you weigh, but it's what's weighing you down. See, because if
Wow.
you don't,
Boom. I mean, you need a microphone so you can drop it when you drop these nuggets, because that was really true. And she always had something that she could grab and go to. You look into the refrigerator and picked off half of a chicken, but she didn't eat anything today.
but you know what, Carolyn, that's habits that was taught to her. See, we all have a food blueprint, just like we got a money
A
blueprint.
food
We
blueprint?
got a food
I can't write
blueprint.
fast enough. Oh my goodness. Because
A
I'm still
food
at not
blueprint.
weighing you down. I'm still working on
Yes.
that one.
Okay, so did you get that, Linda? So it's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. It's not what you're weighing, it's what's weighing you down.
Okay.
Now, what's the
And
difference between it? Wait, what's the difference between a food blueprint and a food plan?
A food, your blueprint is what was taught to you. You're talking about when you were little, how your parents associated with food. In our communities, celebrations, everything, even when we got in trouble, you know, you may have got it beaten, and then they're going to sit down and give you some cake. So at the end of the day,
Wow, that's true. That's really true.
we celebrate food. Let's go out to eat. Let's do this. Everything was
And it
celebrated
is.
around food. So you develop this blueprint as you get older that, you know, we need to go out to dinner. Like, we were poor, so our special days was we get to go out to dinner and we can eat anything we want. So all of those habits and those I always call them limiting beliefs, but that was what our parents taught us. This is what we know.
Wow.
And that's why you have to have some unlearned behaviors. You know, that's why you can't master your body until you master your mind. And you can't
Wow.
figure out what's going on in your mind until you go back through. See, because when you go back through in your life, you know where this is coming from. Like, why do you always want to go out to eat? Why is everything celebratory around food? So that's your blueprint. But now, Anthony, as you move forward, you say, you know what? This blueprint ain't working for me. It may have worked for my mama, but I'm 223 pounds right now because I done celebrated my way through life and I don't feel good. And not only that, I'm starting to have these health issues like diabetes and you know, heart disease. And all this stuff is geared around what we are eating. We can
Wow.
change a lot of those chronic diseases based on what we eat. We don't have to be obese. We don't have to have high blood pressure. We don't have to have type 2 diabetes. We don't have to have heart disease. And I'm not talking about the ones that's predisposed, that something in their family that brings you through it. I'm talking about when you go to the doctor and they say, you know, your blood pressure is a little high, but you know what, Carol, all you need to do is lose 40 pounds. But you rather take 2 pills that the doctor's going to give you instead of taking 2 stairs. Because why?
Wow.
Yeah, we have only 2 minutes, but I got to get this in, right?
Oh my goodness. It's going to be controversial. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, wait, no, not really. So you have some folks who come from a family, like when you talk about blueprint, you know, basically you come from a family that pretty much most of the family members are overweight. How realistic is it for someone to really believe that they can lose weight when the influences or the peers are it's hereditary, where you come from a family where they're overweight? Can you really lose weight and keep it off when you come from that environment?
Obesity ain't it's not hereditary. Number one, that's number one. Obesity is not.
It is not. It is not.
It is not. Listen, my sisters, we were called Bertha Butts. Like, we were called the Butt sisters. So listen, we were all chunkish. They still are, you know, up over the 200-pound area. But I made a decision I didn't want to be like that. You can make a decision. Now, here's the deal. The reason why we talk about those hereditary diseases, Anthony, and I'm going to cut this fast, is because we're all doing the same thing. We're all eating the same food, foods we should not be eating. We're all sitting down on the same sofa with no movement going on in our life. We up all night looking at TV and we're not going to sleep. We rather drink soda than to drink water, you know. So that's what's hereditary. You're all doing the exact same thing, but when you make a decision to change, it no longer becomes a part of your history. Now, you may have some markers in your blood that says, you know what, you may get this cancer. Like, you know what, you may get diabetes. But when you change the structure with food, with water, with sleeping, with moving, you push those markers back.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Well, unfortunately, time is out, ladies. Unfortunately.
That is, well, listen.
You know, that means, Candace, we got to have you back.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is
Absolutely.
Can we just say three things though? Can we just repeat food blueprint, and the other two things? I don't want to paraphrase. Carolyn, you have it down really well. Of course, Camilla, you have it down. That weight does not weigh you down.
Yes, it's not what you weigh, it's what's weigh you down.
Outstanding.
Right? And it's
not what you're eating.
It's what's eating you. And then it goes back to what's in your mind, because that's what needs to be regulated before you can move anywhere.
Man, you ladies are the best. You are the
okay,
bomb.
and Candace, you are the bomb.com. So thank you. We can't wait to see you next month. Next month, when we pick up on another piece of the puzzle to success around wellness. Thank you, wellologists. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Until next week. Great job.
All
great
right.
contribution. Learned so much. I can't wait for the next appearance with Candace on the program. This
All right.
is the Marketplace first segment, health and wellness, here on Jumpstart TV. I'm Anthony Reeves for Candace and Carolyn and Linda. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.